Hey guys, it's Belinda. Welcome back to my channel, Oh Wow, Overcomers with Our Word. Guys, I wanted to give a little commentary tonight on this MoNique Netflix controversy. I have listened to a lot of opinions on this matter, and only once have I spoken on it on a particular platform, but I've really tried to stay somewhat quiet about it, and only because it is really disturbing to me the things that I am hearing and seeing about this issue. It has just become quite evident that we as a people are just, I don't know, it's like it's just second nature to us to not know how to support one another when it comes to the major issues and causes that we should be giving our attention to. When I look at every other group of people, whether it's Italians or Latinos or Jewish cultures, whatever it is, it's like they are right there forefront supporting their causes, their businesses, their endeavors. Whatever it is, they have the support of their communities and they don't tear one another down in public. But us, we take each other to task, to the mat. It's like we're just trying to prove to who I don't know, like, hey, you're just not supportive of it's like you just want to prove that we don't support one another. This is what gets me about the controversy, though. People are more focused on MoNique personally and individually, more so than they are the issues that she's bringing to the table. This is the main thing I keep hearing. What has MoNique done for the community? What has MoNique done? At the end of the day, what do you want her to do? Bigger question is, what has any of these entertainers done for the community? Chris Rock, what is he doing for the community? Dave Chappelle, what is he doing for the community? When you look at your basketball players, football players, soccer, baseball players, and other actors, what are they doing for the community? Their particular job that they get up and study every day to perfect their craft is to do what? Entertain you in some form or fashion, whether that's through sports, whether that's through comedy, whether that's through the media, movies. So I would have to say MoNique has done her job for the community. Her stand-up comedy, her movies, if she has entertained you, then she has done her job. The bigger picture here is gender pay discrimination. So people are saying, she's not a big hit anymore. That there's up and coming, comedians now. Who? Tiffany Haddish? That's just one. Who else is out there hitting the scene that you can say makes MoNique irrelevant at this point? Who? And at what point do we get away from that we have to always keep re-auditioning as if we need you to like us personally? She has a resume, a body of work that she has perfected over a certain time period, over a decade, 2 decades, 3, how many decades of work has she done? So at what point is it about her having to worry about if you like her personally? It's her body of work that she is presenting to do what? Get her next gig, her next negotiation, her next contract. Then people want to say it's her husband that's the problem. I'm even more concerned with that issue, that people will take a position against her husband. Many of you, if you have not worked in those arenas where you're needing someone to negotiate on your behalf, then you don't even understand what this game is all about. Before MoNique had her husband in that position, who did she have? Managers, agents, and lawyers that did not look like her. So these people weren't really negotiating for MoNique because they're going to get a percentage of whatever deal they craft for her, but they're also making side and back deals that you guys know nothing about. Ask me how I know. I lived in Hollywood. I was a young girl going out there trying to get my start in the modeling business. And I'll tell you, once they began to see, and I was representing myself on a lot of deals. And once these people, there are a lot of agents and managers that show up to a lot of these casting calls looking for what? Independence, just like myself, to see what kind of interest they're going to take in you. And then they come and then want to represent you. Why? Because you are a meal ticket to them. They're getting that 15, 20, whatever it is, they're negotiating of your deal. And if you have a manager, you have an agent, and you have a lawyer, all three of those people are getting a percentage and a cut of your pay. To do what? To negotiate something for you that you can negotiate for yourself. But the bigger thing about that is they're never really negotiating for you. They're negotiating to stay in what? Good standing with the executives of whatever company they are negotiating with, whatever movie studio they're negotiating with. Why? Because they know you will come and go. And they want to continue to have what? A seat at that table and be welcome so that they can get a check slid over to them. So when I'm looking at this from a bigger picture, it bothers me because the issue that MoNique is bringing to the table, again, is gender pay discrimination. So that is a universal issue. Her job just happens to be on a stage and on a big screen. Somebody else's job may be at the local McDonald's. Somebody else's job may be at State Farm Insurance or Farmers Insurance. Somebody else's job may be with AT&T as some exec. Somebody else's job may be a secretary in another corporation. At the end of the day, she is presenting an issue that will affect us all at some point in our careers. How many of you have worked in an accounting firm or a law firm or an insurance firm, and you've got the credentials, you have the degree, you have the work history, and then you come up for positions and you put all of your credentials on the table, and then they promoted someone over you that had none of what you had and then expected you to train your counterpart for a position that you have honed the skills to have. So I don't see how we're not really seeing what the bigger issue is. So some people say, well, MoNique should just take the hit and be grateful for the $500,000. In her arena, $500,000 would be like someone going to an exec where a position would, probably warrant $150,000 salary. And then you say, well, if they offered you $50 an hour, take the hit, be happy. That would be like saying to a VP or an exec, take minimum wage and go on about your business. Guys, it is a universal issue that impacts women of color across the board. When do we stop taking the hit? When do we say we'll keep our mouths shut and hope that the next time we'll pull in the big pay position? Knowing that the more that we keep our mouths shut about these things, the big paydays won't come. Here's the bigger issue that I think a lot of this probably boiled down to. They put an offer on the table, and MoNique and her husband had the audacity to question their motives, their methods, their intentions, their tactics. We all have come into those kinds of positions where somebody has said something to you. You knew it was offensive the way they said it. You knew they knew what they were saying. You knew they were looking to undermine and demean you. And then they expected you to stay silent about it. Go along, get along. She decided to stand up for herself. Her husband decided to renegotiate, ask for a better deal, and then ask for them to qualify why they put a certain deal like that on the table. Can we not understand that? I'm just bothered by the fact that we don't seem to get it. But again, like I said, her asking us to give up Netflix is like saying for our guys to give up football season when it comes around, or asking our girls to give up Housewives of Atlanta or Empire or any of the other series that we're so sucked into. Guys, at some point in time, we're going to have to see that her issue is our issue. And what they have gotten us to do is they do it so well, and this is indicative of a narcissistic, sociopathic society, That when one person will stand up and buck against the system, they will do everything they can within their power to show you how much power they have over you, to take you down, destroy your reputation, your livelihood, your career, to do what? To make an example of you so that the next person won't question their deals that they put on the table. They won't question how they treated you on the job. They won't question how we treated you with your pay. Guys, when are we going to see it? When are we going to get to that point where we're going to stand for one another? When are we going to get to that point where there's more, where we begin to see and realize there's more power in numbers? The only problem I see here with the situation MoNique is in is that many of her fellow sisters in Hollywood are not backing her. Many of her brothers in Hollywood are not backing her. Many of her counterparts, her Caucasian sisters in comedy, are not backing her. The same people that will break bread with you and tell you that they love you, when it comes time for them to prove that, they're ghosts, and then they leave her standing to fight the issue alone. That is the problem. That is the problem with most of our situations. We tend to fight the collective issues on an individual level, and then we wonder why we're not getting anywhere as a people. But the one thing that I do say positive about MoNique, the universe probably allowed this to happen to her. Why? Because he knew she had what it takes to stand up for the cause. I happened to look at MoNique's birthday. She's a Sagittarius. That's a fire sign. Then I looked at her particular birth numbers. December 11th, and then the year, you can look it up for yourself. But it all reduces down to her life path number being a number 1, the number of creation. The number of creation. She's also a natural leader. And they're always seeking to pave the way, making it better for others. So this issue is not just about her. It's the bigger cause here. They are hard workers and they have a pioneering spirit. So I applaud MoNique for standing up. I applaud MoNique for speaking up. The truth doesn't need defending. It just needs someone to present it. So guys, I hope that we will begin to look at these issues from a different perspective. Put yourself in that position, in your current position, in your job. How would you feel knowing someone who's new to the scene, that doesn't have the resume that you have, doesn't have the qualifications you have and the skill sets you have, being promoted over you, getting paid more than you, and then you're wanting to ask your superiors, your bosses, why? And then they just expect you to take it, go along, to get along. Guys, we're going to have to do better. We're going to have to start valuing one another. We're going to have to start looking at us as a collective again, and not simply looking at an issue and saying, that ain't got nothing to do with me, or what has she done for me? Guys, we got to do better. But I just wanted to give my commentary on it. Again, I applaud MoNique. I pray that she has, that universe spirit gives her the strength that she needs and the energy that she needs to continue this fight that she's in. And again, it's not just about her. And if you're in a fight, if you're in a struggle, if you're faced with an issue and you only see this as about being you, then I'd say you're probably in the wrong cause, because anything that spirit, universe brings to us, it's never really about us. At the end of the day, is probably the things that we're going through are always for someone else. So guys, we have to, again, do better. Start seeing ourselves once again as a collective, not just an individual, because her issues are your issues and my issues, and vice versa. We are one. We are all connected as a people. We all come from source. We're all here on our individual paths, but we all have these goals to contribute to the collective. So guys, that's just my take on it. Again, I think we need to stop looking at it so much personally as MoNique, but again, focus on the issue that she has brought to the table, and then look at your own personal life and say, how would you feel if that was your wife, your sister, your mother coming to you with the same set of facts that she is presenting, would you feel different about it? Would you see it differently? I think you would. So guys, let's give more thought to these things and not just look at the person. Let's focus on the issues, and then let's what? Do better. Until the next time, guys, live well, be well. Take care.